So the Reds have one of the worst weeks in baseball history, unfortunately. So going into May, they were 20-11, first place. First time entering May in first place since 2002. Then they get swept by the Pirates. Then they get swept by the Cubs. 4-game sweep of the Cubs. So they lose 7 straight games. All of these games are against teams in their own division, which really hurts, including 3 walk-offs in a row to the Cubs, which we just covered. In Game 4 against the Cubs, Dansby Swanson, the ground into the perfect double play ball. Catcher thinks it's a force play. It's not a force play. Run scores. Cubs end up scoring 7 runs. 7 losses in a row. Then they go to Houston. Astros currently have 6 starting pitchers on the IL. They rank 27th in starting ERA, 30th in relievers ERA. Mike Burrows, who has given up more hits than anyone in baseball, entered the game with a 5.97 ERA. He has never made it out of the 6th inning. Pitches against the Reds. 7 shutout innings against the Reds. They lose their 8th game in a row. During those 8 days, the rest of the division goes 24-8. The Cubs did not lose a single game in that span. So in 8 days, they lose 8 games. And the Reds go from first place up by 1 game to being in last place down by 7 games in just 8 days. That's statistically almost impossible. Their bullpen walked 29 batters in 31 innings. Holy moly. They blew 3 saves in 7 games. 42% of their losses during this streak was a result of a blown save. So their bullpen gives up 34 runs during this 8-game losing stretch. During that same stretch, the Rays bullpen gave up 2. Total, the team had a 7.64 ERA, gave up 60 runs in 7 games, and their playoff odds went from 39% to just 15% in a week. So a tough stretch for the Reds, bro. Tough stretch for the Reds. And I got to say, I mean, if you look at the stats, it's the bullpen that really did it in for them. I'm sure the Reds fans are complaining about the bullpen. But I got to be honest, looking at the Reds season, it's really the starting staff that has disappointed me the most. I mean, their starting rotation right now is the 7th worst ERA in baseball. And if you look at that starting staff on paper, they should be, in my opinion, top 5. I mean, Chase Burns has had a great year, 2.11 ERA. He's emerged as one of the best in baseball so far. Andrew Abbott has not. He has regressed tremendously. Now, he did have a great start against Houston. His last start, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 5 Ks, 0 earned runs. But he's got a 4.47 ERA. And before that start, had something over a 5. And that is a guy who was in the Cy Young conversation last year. A lot of people picked him for their Cy Young pick, Mitch.
I mean, the Reds broadcast said that they did a biometric breakdown on Andrew Abbott to see what he was doing differently this year versus last year. And he's had his ERA drop significantly since that breakdown. I think he has allowed just 2 runs over his last 3 starts. And I think he had back-to-back scoreless starts.
So they had to analyze his biology. I'm like, this guy's been such dog shit. We got to look at his freaking skull placement. What's his neck?
They were saying he was like more hunched last year. This year he was standing up a little taller, which was causing an issue with his arm release. But since then, 2 runs allowed in 17.2 innings. He had a 5-game stretch where he allowed 22 runs. And since then, he's allowed just 2, and a 1.02 ERA.
And that was the secret? You got to hunch over more?
You got to hunch over, get a better arm angle.
All right, Hunchback. I like what you're rocking with. We're going to start calling him Hunchback.
See, next time somebody says, oh, you fix your posture. No.
Messes with my arm angle.
Yeah, man.
Fucking up my career.
Look at Andrew Abbott over here. And then you got Brady Singer, 5.63 ERA this year. We talked about Rhett Lauder, who had a great start to the season, but not so much since then. 5.4 ERA, and now he's on the IL. And Brandon Williamson, he's on the 60-day IL, which makes me think that he won't be pitching anytime soon. Also, their relievers, who I did say wasn't the main issue for me, not great. But, I mean, the starters hurt my soul, man. I mean, Hunter Green's injured too. That doesn't help. But, I mean, I still think with Singer, Andrew Abbott, and Chase Burns at the top of that, I mean, you guys got to be better than freaking what? 7th worst ERA in baseball? Pick it the frick up, man. Wake the up. Tired of this bullshit. Get out of my dugout. I'm tired of this bull. But after their loss, they responded all right. They win 2 out of 3 against Houston. Chase Burns, great start. Another great start for Chase Burns. Love Chase Burns, man. It's not your fault, man. Everyone else's fault. He's back. And, you know, as bad as it's been for the Reds, I did joke around and say that their season was crushed in 8 days, which it did feel like that. But they're still 3 games over 500, Mitch. Now, they are in last place. And I don't know how many games back are they? Because everyone in the division is just unbelievable.
Yeah, they're 5 games back from the Cubs. They're tied with the Pirates.
And that's another funny thing. It's like you would never, you know, I mean, dude, they lost 8 out of 8. And they're still tied with the Pirates. I mean, the whole energy around the Reds is that they just squandered their whole season in a week span. But that's not the energy going around with the Pirates. People I feel like are still kind of up on the Pirates. You know, an exciting team that's doing great. They're tied right now, and they're in last place. Granted, both 3 games over 500. So one of the NL Central is one of the funniest divisions of all time. They might need to relegate these teams somewhere else so it's more fair. We got to put we got to switch half the AL Central with the NL Central.
Who are you trading from the AL Central to the NL Central and vice versa?
I think if we got Pittsburgh needs to go to the AL Central and replace the worst team, which would be the Twins, and then let's get Cincinnati in the AL Central, switch them out with the White Sox. Everybody's happy.